Hey everybody, I want to bring you in on a little secret project. And the catch is you're going to see this video about 2 to 3 weeks after it's been made because I'm working on something for Jennifer's birthday. And I want you to see it, but it might feel a little rushed because she's out in town right now and I got to try to get this done while she's gone. So I've got some materials here that I drug back in the woods hoping that she wouldn't see that I brought it home. I've got extension cords a mile long to try to help me out, and let's get started on this project. Okay, so here's what you're looking at. These are two what they call handy panels. They're very short, 8 foot long, 50 inches tall cattle panels, and some 2x6s by 8 foot long, and we are going to turn this into a shelter for some pigs. I've never made one of these before, but put a little thought into it before you start in case you can think of something better than what I'm doing here. Here's my thoughts. Rather than construct a frame and then bend the cattle panel down into it and try to staple it together, my thought is, what if I stapled the cattle panel onto the boards first, and then I have the boards as weight and I can bend it and keep it shape, and then all I got to do is really get 2 screws in on the sideboards and keep it shaped like that, rather than worry about trying to keep that panel just right as I try to staple a whole bunch of staples around the bottom of it. So we'll see how that goes. Once I get this together, I'll determine whether or not I want it to be 4 foot wide or 6 foot wide, and then cut the support boards to length. I haven't made that decision yet, and then when it's all said and done, we'll put a tarp across the top. Another consideration that I'm making is the direction of these wires. It's hard to show in picture and video, but the wires that are going this way are currently on top. And when I staple these down and flip them over, then they will be on the bottom, which to me seems like the most structurally sound way of doing things. When it's all said and done, this thing's going to be holding a tarp in a part of the country that rarely sees snow. Is structural engineering necessarily something to take into account? Maybe it's not all that important, but it means enough to me, and maybe it's something that you should take into account for your panels. If you're going to make your structure like this, attaching the cattle panel on first and then constructing the rest of the frame, make sure you take into the account where the rest of the frame is going to go. In my case, I'm going to put one on the very back and then one facing this direction onto the bottom. So I want to make sure that my panel starts on the inside and stays at least 1.5 inches off the bottom so that I don't hinder or get in the way of my other boards. So now with all the staples in place, the next step is to flip it over and then attach the end board, or what's going to be across the back. It'll be the easiest one, I think, to put into place. So in case it wasn't clearly stated earlier, the reason I'm doing it this way than flipping it over is to make sure that the cattle panel, the metal supports, are going to be on the inside. That way, as it's going across that arc and it's wanting to spring back out, if I put it on the outside, the only thing to hold that spring back are the staples, and that's just not going to be the most efficient way to get it done. If I put it on the inside, then it's pushing against the wood, and I'm going to be screwing the wood into more wood to hold the frame together, and that's going to be the most stable way to get it done. So let's flip it over and see where we go from here.